Evening and welcome to tonight's session, our Q&A session for Farming for Nature. Farming for Nature was set up to inspire and encourage farmers that farm or wish to farm more for nature. And one of the ways we do this is we find a number of exemplary farmers each year who are managing their land as well as working alongside nature and hopefully enhancing nature on their land. Over the next hour, I'll kickstart the Q&A session and ask a few questions to our host speaker, and then if you guys have any questions, you just pop it in the chat box along your banner. There's a chat box there. If you miss any of our previous sessions or you want to catch up or you miss some of this session, please go to our YouTube channel and you'll see all our Q&A sessions there. So on to tonight's event. We are delighted to have one of our more recently awarded ambassadors, Pen Saugnier, joining us. Pen runs a mixed organic farm in County Westmeath with some other family members. Pen, welcome and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Bridget.
So Pen, just to get started, you might just describe your own journey onto this farm or your family's journey onto this farm.
Yes, so we moved here when I was 6. My mother and my father bought it when I was 6, and the rest of my siblings were young. My mother and father converted it to organic, and at that time, shortly after they bought it, planted some forestry, which we helped for pocket money, I remember well. So they farmed it. They converted to organic as well, and farmed it for a long time. Then unfortunately, my parents separated, the farm was leased out for a while, and then my mother decided that she really wanted to look after it herself and started farming it again herself. And then now she's getting older, and in 2021 I started helping her. We're now farm partners together, so that's where we're at now.
Brilliant, excellent. And can you describe your farm and your farming system to us?
Yeah, so our farm is a really beautiful place. It's as much for the farm, for the animals, as for the people, it's about 35 hectares of farm. All organically certified, or BA approved farm. We have forestry, we have grazing swords, we have tillage, we have a garden, a vegetable garden, we have an orchard, we keep bees, and my sister and my mother run an Airbnb and are shortly starting social farming on the farm as well.
Do you know, I loved you have a beautiful video which we released recently and it's on our YouTube channel, but I love seeing such a diversity on your land of both, you know, the different animals and also systems that you've undertaken. There's no mean feat, but there's also a really nice kind of intergenerational thing. I'd say moving from one generation to the next. Has that enhanced the experience as well, living on the farm and how you farm, learning from, you know, people that have farmed before you, your mother's farmed before you, and she's handing it over to you. And has that kind of helped you taking on the farm at this stage?
Yeah, absolutely. And her inspiration as well. She's really, you know, I did the green cert, I went through the Teagasc protocols, but very much behind her always is you have to respect the nature. So she's really promoting that. She's really encouraging me to continue in that way, while at the same time I'm also trying to make a profit. So we've got both sides, which is really, really helpful. We're both working together to do that. And then, you know, my sister's doing bits as well. We're working with her. We have 5 kids living here who help the whole thing keep going as well. And yeah, it's very much so. It's very much intergenerational thing where we all work together to keep it going.
So you have pigs, poultry, cows, sheep, and so much more. You operate a number of different strands. How do you feel this benefits the farm to have so many different strands?
Well, certainly the animals work together in the grazing of the ground. Like what I really noticed this year, for example, like we graze the cows and the sheep follow. The donkeys are in there too, eating up weeds and things. There's a pony that comes along too. They all eat different parts of the grass. They help disperse the worms. We haven't dosed the sheep for 2 years now, and we've had clean dung samples 4 times in a row, which is pretty nice. And obviously there's something working. So yeah, the animals definitely work in harmony together. And and without that, I think it would be much more, you know, the grazing wouldn't be so clean without the animals working together to keep it that way.
So it's benefited the animals, but it's also benefiting the land and the fact that, say, things like you might not have to worm as much and stuff, it's kind of benefiting maybe your profit system as well.
Yeah, profit system. Well, the Dexters are quite new to us, but we've always brought them in to the farm. They finish at different times of the year. So you have, you know, your lambs now predominantly this time of the year, where you might have a bullock ready in the spring. Yeah, different. That kind of does help the profit margin for sure. I got a bit lost there.
Yeah, no. Sorry, yeah, no, I was actually kind of but just starting with the Dexters, why did you guys choose Dexters, and what is there a reason why you chose them? You're saying they're kind of new to your farm.
Yeah, well, they've been on the farm during summer months because we've always had too much grass for just the sheep. Like I said, the sheep like the shorter grass, the cattle eat the longer grass. We always had too much grass, so we bring in the Dexters. But now, more for ourselves than just grazing for another farmer. Yeah, we like them. They're small. They're easy to manage. They're easy to finish. We don't feed them. They don't need housing. They're quiet enough, even though people don't agree. If you ever say you've got Dexters to the vet or something, they say they're completely wild, which I don't agree with. Yeah, they're native to Ireland as well. They belong in our climate. They don't need pushing on. They're easy to calf. Oh, there's so many benefits to them. I
So
think
how many are in your herd, or
11 at the minute.
11? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have followers at the moment, obviously.
Yeah, we had one calf born this year, so next year we'll have more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
One calf at the moment and one weanling.
And so you don't have to house them at all in the winter. You keep them out all year round.
Yeah, now sometimes we do want to do a bit of housing to create manure. We don't put fertilizer on the ground, so it's a toss up between keeping them out and also wanting to create manure to spread in the tillage field. So yeah, we're trying. Well, the sheep create the manure too, so it's kind of handier keeping the sheep in for their lambing period and leaving the cattle out.
Yeah, they're kind of a bit more hardy sometimes, aren't
Yeah.
they? And do you have a certain breed of sheep?
So we have a kind of one that we breed for lamb, which is a Belclare cross Texel. We're trying to improve the breeding of the lamb a little bit to finish the lambs a bit quicker. Yeah, that's beneficial to nature as well. Less time on the land, and yeah, less emissions, I suppose, from per head of sheep. Then we have a few rare breeds which are really for the people attraction. We have Jacobs and we have Herdwicks.
Okay, great.
And they are just kind of we like to have a mixed flock that are nice to look at as well. So
When you also say people attraction, I think you were saying that does your sister run an Airbnb out of the farm as well?
yeah.
So it's agritourism.
Yeah, agritourism. Yeah, so both my mother and my sister. My mother's really keen on the agritourism idea. She loves to have people here. There's regularly different groups of people come here and to enjoy the place. There's the Airbnb. Then sometimes the church come out and have events here, and they enjoy the farm. And my sister's about to start social farming here, so they'll come here too.
Brilliant.
Very much. Aside from the production of meat, it's for people to come and enjoy the place as well.
And then your tillage side, how much do you have to tillage, and what do you do with it?
Yes, we have 11.5 hectares of tillage. It was producing organic oats for Flavins for a long time. We weren't actually managing it ourselves, so we just took back the management of it last year. We are a place where we're really working now to improve its we're trying to improve the organic matter. We're trying to improve its natural fertility, build back the soil. Yeah, we're working quite hard on that. We've left it fallow this year. We put in a catch crop after the crop last year of vetch and clover, which was really beneficial for the soil. Bees, the field was red, the 11.5 hectares of red in May and June, which was absolutely a sight to behold. And the bees loved it, the other insects loved it. So then we left it fallow for a tillage crop, and we're just about to sow in it now, a brassica crop for over winter, both for feeding the sheep and also to improve the structure of the soil. And help hopefully build back. We'll graze some of it and then put some of it back in the soil, put a bit of organic matter back in.
And is the plan to continue to produce oats after that or not?
No, so next year the plan is a pea and cereal crop probably for animal feed. It needs a break from oats now for a while. We'll start a rotation of different crops.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And would that be for your own animals, or will it be for selling?
Well, we'd keep a little bit for ourselves, and the rest will be sold.
A huge amount, yeah, of course, 11 hectares.
Yeah.
Would be quite a lot. So it's kind of nice though to think that you can be as self-sufficient as possible for your animals. And how much do you keep for your own, and what do you sell outside your gates?
In the tillage, usually there's about 30 tons of crop, and we might keep a ton for ourselves. So
Yeah.
The large majority of it is sold out the gates. In terms of lamb production, we have about 80 lambs born a year now at the minute. We usually keep maybe 2 for our own freezers, and a few friends who usually we butcher for their freezers, and then the rest are sold on. So again, a small percentage of the lamb. Again, with the beef, it's a small amount for ourselves. Yeah.
And is it direct sales you do with the lamb and the beef beyond your friends? Like
no, it's not. The ICM in Camolin, the lamb goes to, and the beef goes to APB.
Okay. Brilliant. And I noticed on your video also you kind of have an orchard, and then you use the bees to kind of help pollinate the orchard, and it's kind of that really nice to see that kind of circular system going on the whole time. Does that you see that working for you, or it attracts other pollinators as well? And
yeah, so the bees, we got them about 2 or 3 years ago, and we do see, like we were just talking this evening, how the orchard, there's so much fruit on the trees. Whether that's to do with the bees or not, I don't know, but we could imagine it is.
Yeah.
The bees, and like that you see them, that you like to leave things as well. Then the ivy and things, the bees need the ivy, so the ivy's not a problem. When you see the ivy as food for the bees, it's you don't mind it there really. And in the garden you'd see them working a lot, and we saw them out in the tillage field as well. So yeah,
they've got lots of sources
lots
there
to do.
Yeah. And you guys planted, you were saying you were involved when you were a kid in planting trees and stuff. What's your woodland look like now, and do you use it commercially?
So we sell the thinnings of the wood. It's all continuous cover forestry. So the thinnings come out and it still has a full canopy, and she's regrowing. So we provide fuel. Starting with the self-sufficient part, we provide fuel for the 3 houses here first and foremost, and then the thinnings are sold on. And in actual fact, the thinnings don't really provide fuel for those. So any wind blows and stuff provide fuel for ourselves. We've got 4 different areas of forestry, or even 5, I think 5. One was planted in 2018, native Irish woodland, so that's in its early stages at the moment. It's got oak, rowan, alder, beech, I think, birch,
yeah.
Birch. It's doing quite well. It takes a lot of management because we don't spray any pesticides. So a lot of grass management to keep the trees growing. Then we've got another area of forestry, which is mostly spruce and some Scots pine. Unfortunately, the pine didn't do so well in there, but that's fairly well established now. So that's probably on its 3rd thinning now. And then we've got a forestry which we walk through, consisting of oak, a little bit of sycamore, a little bit of beech in there, some walnut trees, and that leads on to then a mainly beech plantation. So that's kind of the different areas which were kind of devised to suit the land area where they were going and where they were being planted into.
Yeah. And does a forester come in and do the forestry aspect for you, or do you guys do it yourself? And
yeah, so my brother and my husband are both quite keen with the chainsaws. So they kind of manage it, but a forester will come in to give us a little bit of advice, maybe mark some trees that need to be thinned and things like that, or, you know, if we have a problem. But yeah, both my brother and my husband are really interested in the forestry too. So
Okay.
they
And then you'd sell it like as timber or whatever.
timber,
yeah.
And we recently had people looking for ash for hurls, but the ash, as you know, is not too well. So
Yeah. And tell me, you have wetlands on your land as well. Did you, and I know that you kind of let it regenerate itself naturally. Um, you know, last winter, obviously, there was a lot of water, there was a lot of rain. Did you feel that your wetlands were able to kind of sustain themselves, like manage the high flow of water? And did you see the
yeah.
advantage of kind of natural regeneration or anything?
Yes, we have two wetlands. One was fenced off for reps at the back of the tillage field. We don't see it very often. It's very much the very far side of the farm, which is more of a kind of a reedy, marshy area, with some trees surrounding it. Snipe love it down there. Yeah, so that did manage the water for sure. It was okay. That I actually thought that I didn't know where the water was going to go in the other wetland. I thought, well, where's this going to go? It's going to be far too much water, and the trees inside it were completely swamped in water or swallowed up by water. I don't know what effect it really had on it. It's dried up now. Still a little bit wet, which normally at this time of year it's completely dry, and it is still a little bit wet in the middle of it. The council did divert more water to it a number of years ago. So that's an impact. Yeah, I think actually maybe it benefited from the additional water. We always wanted to increase the water going to it. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, to be continued.
It's going to be continued.
So what other things have you done on your land for nature?
Yeah, what else have we done? We have a riparian buffer zone. Where we've just let the grass. It was part of the tillage, about 2 hectares additional land that was part of the tillage that we reseeded with some grass mixes suitable for beside the water in an attempt to soak up nutrients and things. It's the stream that goes down to the river in the village. We've planted in there cocksfoot, timothy grass, fescue. Yeah, it's an interesting mix now. I was down walking in it today. It's quite hard to walk through at the minute. And it's done well in places. Some weeds are obviously gone down there too. We've just left that now for it's part of the acre scheme actually that we did join it, but it's what's been left for 5 years, and we'll top it once a year just to feed the grass back into the soil. Yeah, it's interesting to see what's happening at the moment and which grasses are doing well and not. And it's surrounded on all sides by drains going down into the stream. Yeah, so that's.
And so when will you top it, or
in September?
September,
yeah.
That's when they advise, yeah.
We'll mulch it and top it, and hopefully feed it back in, and the grasses will benefit from it.
Yeah. If anyone has any questions, just pop them in the chat box there for Pen. So Pen, I mean, you work part-time as well, I think, and so you seem to be juggling quite a lot on this farm. There's a lot going on. I mean, do you find it's all manageable while working part-time and
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. We did a big thing this year, which was re-fence the farm, so that helped the management of it all greatly. Before that, it was much more hard to manage, and I feel that, yeah. So most things are doing themselves. You know, there's not a lot of inputs going in. There's no inputs going in. You know, you sow the tillage, you close the gate. You put the riparian buffer zone in, you close the gate. The animals I move every 3 days, but they know the story. You just open the gate, and then they move on. Yeah, without dosing them, there's not so much work there. We don't have much feed problems. Generally it's managing well, and my sister's running the garden, so she's managing that. That's a second person doing something else, and my mother's then managing the poultry, so that's off my hands as well.
So when you say fencing, like is it dividing up the fields into smaller fields, or is it just putting a fence around the fields so they don't escape, or like?
Our fencing before was really poor.
Okay.
Really poor. It was old and poor, and did make managing the farm difficult. Now it's just we have small enough paddocks anyways that allows, and I just put a fence through the middle of it, and so that they can move on every 3 days, and it's made it a lot more easy just to manage that constant moving of the animals and keeping them in the right place for those times. But definitely, yeah, it's not, we don't have huge fields that they just go out into and graze for weeks on end.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, dare I ask, does it all work financially? Does it wash its own face?
I love finances. That's what I work at. So it's my favorite part of it, nearly. I don't do things that don't make money. I don't like it.
Okay.
So I'm really trying hard to make sure that the finances are working. I've just signed up to take part in the national survey of organic farmers to see if it's financially profitable. So we'll know better next year.
Great.
From my opinion, yeah, it's definitely making more money than it's spending. Not enough probably for me not to work, but the aim is to keep on producing, to keep on making more profit for sure.
Yeah, no, and I mean, from what you've said so far anyway, I mean, it sounds like you're also giving so much to nature while achieving that, but also I think you started this whole Q&A by saying it's a lovely place to live, and so I suppose there's profits in other ways as well, which
absolutely
are quantifiable.
Unquantifiable. That's it. The sense of well-being here, the knowledge that the children growing up here, the atmosphere for them, what they're learning, what they're seeing. Yeah, this I think at the moment is, I don't know, 15 people living here maybe, which is nice, at different times. 3 houses here, and yeah, just and all the people coming here and the joy they feel when they're here is unquantifiable as well. You sort of step in and you feel just at peace.
And do you ever get like woofers or anyone external help, or what do you need external help for?
So not on the farm actually, but we have worker wares coming. They sort of help more just kind of the days and ins and outs of the poultry, maybe doing a bit in the house, painting a few railings or something like that. I think at some point they changed what they were allowed to do, and they're not allowed to work for businesses. So we removed it from the farm enterprise.
Okay, that makes sense. And do you feel there's an educational side to what you do, like educating neighbours or peers, or you probably don't have time in all fairness, but
always chat to the neighbours. We know we have a good relationship, and they're certainly more interested in seeing what we're doing. I love when people might come here and they go, oh, they're a good sheep, or very surprised, that's a nice calf or something like that. Often with surprise. I think yeah, yeah, there is an educational aspect for sure. And for the visitors who come here from other countries and things and see how it's being run, it's very interesting. We had some guests last week and they'd never seen the cows outside. They'd literally never seen cows outside. So that was
isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember going to an agritourism place in Austria and being very excited about seeing how they farmed and stuff. And they were like, yes, the cows are here in the shed. And I'm like, hi. And it wasn't the time of the year that they should have been there. So where would you start advising a farmer if they wanted to review how they farm for nature? I mean, what are the kind of main pieces of things that you, based on your experience, would say to consider?
I think planting some trees is always a good way to start, even if it's only a few trees. It's a good start. Providing some more habitats, maybe some water habitats. I think that's really increased our bird population here, especially in all the different habitats, the different areas. I think perhaps saying maybe your grass can grow without so much fertilizer put on it. Maybe you can see that, to do some soil sampling or something and see, can you reduce what you're doing, or can you find a different way of doing it that doesn't require synthetic fertilizer use. I think again, like I said with the sheep, maybe they don't need the dose that you've scheduled without checking, do a dung sample or something like that. You'd be surprised, you might not need it. Simple little things, I think. Leaving some long grasses in areas, not cutting all the grass to the same length, not not taking out every weed, leave some areas just to grow naturally. protect the water courses. I'm amazed by people who, you know, maybe just leave a little more of a buffer between your field and the water course. Things that don't have to kill their idea of farming, but can be done quite simply, I think.
Yeah, nice. And where did you go? Is there anywhere you went in particular for advice and support when you were kind of embarking on this journey, you know, in 2022 or 21?
Yeah, well, I remember doing for my green cert, I remember we had to do a biodiversity project and what we could do. And Farming for Nature was one of the first resources I used. So I was really impressed by the website from Farming for Nature, and you could click on different areas of the farm and see what you can do to improve. You know, the still thing is we need to improve here. Hedgerows are probably a main thing for our goal for now to improve here. Yeah, my mother as well went on a few of the walks of Farming for Nature. A lot of people in our sphere would be on the same kind of way of thinking as well. So just asking people different questions. A lot of farm walks with Farming for Nature, with organic farms as well. I know not organic farms are doing anything for nature, but just going out and seeing more farms and what other people are doing is really beneficial, and talking with other people.
Yeah. And do you feel being a female farmer has changed a lot for you since maybe when your mother was earlier on starting her
I think
kind of career?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot more women farmers now. You see a lot more at the shows showing their animals. You see more women driving tractors. You see more women in meetings. I remember my mother saying she used to go to meetings and she was the only woman by far in the entire place, and they were kind of laughing what she was doing there. I still think maybe the older generation of men still have a little bit of a something to deal with there that they have to accept. And I've talked to some of them. I think, yeah, but I definitely think it's more accepted. I was pleasantly surprised when I went for my green cert and it was half male and half female in there, which was nice. I still think that there could be some more education for women. Maybe they don't want to, you know, tractor driving especially wasn't maybe taught to women, machinery use over the years, or maybe when you're as a young girl you didn't want to join in the machinery use. So I think more yes, more incentive there for courses for women especially, I think would be helpful more. Yeah, they have started. They have started. I know that women in agriculture have started some tractor training courses just for women, but there's not enough of it, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, what, not the female farming side of things, but just in general, what are the main challenges you've had along the way as a farmer in general since embarking on this journey?
One was being female, certainly.
Okay.
making sure people took me seriously. I think people now are taking me more seriously, but just showing that you are serious, and it's not, you know, people sometimes, you know, and saying, oh, it's not a hobby farm, you know, it's not, you know, just because we've left a field that people don't like the look of, it's there for a reason. It has a benefit. So yeah, you know, you are farming profitably, but you're also, you know, not doing things exactly by the book that other farmers would consider the way to do it, sort of thing. So yes, that's been a challenge. I think tractor driving for me is a big challenge. That's why I'm keen on I'm learning, but I'm keen on more courses for women, especially to do that. Yeah, and then just the general juggling of it all is a challenge, but it's a rewarding one.
Yeah, great, well done. Well, you're doing a great job. I mean, there's a beautiful farm there. What's is there one memory that stands out for you when you're on your farm that, yeah, you know what, I'm doing all right here. This is going well. This is going the direction I wanted it to go. Is there one kind of moment that you thought this is working for me?
I feel that quite often. I do. Yeah, just standing every day. You know, I haven't lost any animals this year, thankfully. That feels good. That's, you know, it is farming, and you often do have times where, you know, you might lose an animal. Haven't lost anything this year. There's grass in all the fields. We have all the haylage ready for the winter. The field the tillage field was getting a bit overgrown now. We're looking seriously beautiful with all the flowers in it. We regularly eat food here that's entirely produced at home. The whole plate which is very satisfying. Yeah, seeing my kids being able to herd the sheep and pull one in and I would tell you that that one's about to lamb and they know it. That's as well part of it. Yeah, the reward.
Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pen, we're coming to the end of our Q&A, unless anyone's got any questions. I'll just one last question I've here. Like, do you ever think about the legacy of how you're leaving your farm? You know, you were mentioning there your kids, but also the legacy of how you're leaving your farm to the next generation and how that influences how you farm.
Absolutely. Like we did have to take, for example, we had to take a few trees down this year before we did the fencing, unfortunately, the ones that were coming to the end of their lives. And very much part of each tree that came down, one tree had to go up and one tree had to be planted. And that's very much for the next generation, for the next person. It's not for ourselves. Yeah, things like that. Just keeping the place healthy is the legacy really, and I think just passing on the knowledge to the next generation as well.
That's brilliant. Pen, you're an inspiration. Thank you for sharing your very diverse farm with us, and I know we've had a small crew tonight because I think it's very sunny outside and it's August. But I do know that if anyone missed out on this or anyone wants to share it with anyone else, it will be up on our YouTube channel in the next 24 hours. So feel free to share it with anyone. Also, Pen is doing a farm for us in 21st September, is it?
8th September.
Okay, yeah, sorry, 8, is it?
Yeah, it's a Sunday at 2 o'clock.
8th September, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So Pen's doing a farm walk for us on the 8th September. There's still a few spaces left. So if you have an interest in seeing her farm, then please sign up to her farm. It's a tenner per person, and you can find that through our website. So our next Q&A is the second Tuesday of next month, which was Michael Keegan from County Wicklow, another different type of farm all over again. But if anyone wants to contact you, Ben, are you on social media, or does your farm have a website? Or
I think we started a website and didn't finish it. Yeah, I'm on social media on Facebook, and you can get me there. Yeah, and
if anyone has any questions,
yeah, I'm always happy to answer questions.
And then I assume what's the name of your house for the Airbnb if anyone wants to?
Rathcam Organic Farm.
Rathcam Organic Farm.
Oh,
you might be seeing me there one day. It sounds lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, thank you very much, Pen. Thanks for joining us, Stephen. Thanks everyone. Just here, sorry, I have Antoinette Flanagan as I got a Mihamahagut, and Mary Connor has said, "I'm glad to hear you speak about tractor driving. Yes, I also see it as a challenge. So certainly something I am interested in the future. It's courses for women operating machinery. Very interesting webinar." So, Pen, thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge, and we look forward to seeing you on your farm.
Thank you, Bridget.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.